Is this the year that Notre Dame finally makes the college football playoff? To me, it's not even a question. It has to be the year that Notre Dame makes the playoff, because anything less would be a major disappointment. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys, here with our 2024 Notre Dame college football prediction. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and check out everything down in the description below, including our website, thegridironexpert.com, home of our newsletters. Go sign up for those today to become a member of our GE Nation. Also, check out our expert picks, also on the website. Some of the best spread picks in the entire country for one of the lowest prices in the entire country. You do not want to miss out, guys. We beat out over 80% of the national handicappers each of the last 6 years, and we're going to make it 7 by the end of this year. So go check it out. The links for everything down in the description below. So I really like this Notre Dame team, guys. Marcus Freeman has done a phenomenal job. I would say a pretty decent job, at least, in South Bend. 19-7 in 2 full years with the Fighting Irish, going 10-3 last year, dominating their bowl game over Oregon State by having heartbreaking losses to Ohio State, Louisville, and Clemson. This year, though, things are lining up very well for them. Loaded roster, great schedule. Again, the sky is the limit for Notre Dame, especially now with the 12-team playoff. The offense, it's revamped. They lose Sam Hartman, sure. They lose Audric Estime, sure. But now they bring in Riley Leonard, the transfer quarterback from Duke, who threw for over 4,400 yards and rushed for over 1,200 yards during his time with the Blue Devils. He's now paired with a new offensive coordinator in Mike Denbrock, who makes his return to South Bend. Last year was the offensive coordinator for the LSU Tigers and led Jaden Daniels to a historic season and a Heisman Trophy. Jaden Daniels and Riley Leonard, different quarterbacks, sure, but similar skill sets. Solid passers, dangerous runners. What can he do now with Leonard? We know they lose Audric Estime, their star running back from last year, but they do have Jadarian Price and Jeremiah Love both back at running back. They added Chris Mitchell in at wide receiver, over 1,600 yards during his time with Florida International. Bo Collins comes in from Clemson, over 1,200 yards in his career with the Tigers. They do have to replace some key offensive linemen like Joe Alt, but 2 starters at back should remain relatively strong. Defense, that's the strength of Notre Dame. That's the loaded part of this roster. 9 starters are back after giving up just 15.9 points per game last year and only 276 total yards per game last year. To me, there's no clear weakness on this defense. You could argue it's the linebacking core, but they are loaded from top to bottom. You've got Howard Cross up on the defensive line, had 66 tackles, was the second leading tackler for the Fighting Irish last year. You've got Jack Kaiser at linebacker, the number 3 tackler for the team last year. You've got Xavier Watts in the secondary at safety. 7 interceptions last year, one of the best safeties in the country, maybe the best in the country. And that's just naming a few of the standout players for Notre Dame. They've got standout players at all 3 levels. They have depth at all 3 levels. They only gave up 157 passing yards per game last year. I love this Notre Dame defense. They're going to be a top 10 unit this year, and that could be what propels them into that 12-team playoff. Take a look at their schedule. It's easy. It's easy. To me, the schedule comes down to 3 games. The season opener against Texas A&M, Florida State, and USC. Louisville won't be easy. Georgia Tech won't be easy. But those 3 games that we just mentioned are by far, to me, the biggest and will define Notre Dame's season. You go on the road to Texas A&M to start the year. What a tough game. And what an intriguing game. A night game in College Station. One that I can tell you right now should be relatively low scoring. A&M's going to have a solid defense now with a defensive-minded head coach in Mike Elko. You've got a very strong Notre Dame defense, like we mentioned. I don't expect a whole lot of points being scored in College Station. You've got the Mike Elko factor at Texas A&M, the new head coach there, facing off against his former quarterback in Riley Leonard. That's an intriguing storyline. Both teams have a lot of new pieces on both sides of the ball. Both teams have new coordinators. To me, A&M's got the better offense in this game right now. Maybe they don't own the quarterback edge. I think Riley Leonard still owns that edge over Connor Weigman, but he's still a solid quarterback, and the Aggies do have a very good offensive line and a good wide receiver core. Notre Dame, to me, he's got the better defense. So maybe they shut down that Texas A&M offense, which certainly has a lot of potential. A&M, though, does have home field advantage. We know how difficult and how beneficial the 12th man is for the Aggies. I also am a little concerned about Notre Dame's offensive line, replacing a few pieces from last year, now going on the road to face a very good Texas A&M defensive line. It's going to be a hard-fought, low-scoring battle, but I'm going to go with the Aggies here. I really could see this game truly truly going either way. But I like A&M's home field advantage just a little bit more. I like their defensive line against the offensive line a little bit more. And right now, I like their offense just a tiny bit more. The Aggies find a way to get a signature win in the first game of the Mike Elko era. And then everybody's going to start talking about how Notre Dame is overrated and their season's over and all that crap that we hear every year, right? But I'm here to tell you that's not the case. They lose to A&M, and then things get very easy. They will win the next 4 games prior to their first bye week. They will cruise past Northern Illinois. They will cruise past Purdue. They will cruise past Miami, Ohio. And they will get revenge at home against Louisville. They lost to the Cardinals 33-20 on the road last year, allowing 185 rushing yards. Well, now Gerard Jordan is gone. Notre Dame also committed 5 turnovers in that game, right? 5 turnovers in that game. It was a 17-13 game heading into the fourth quarter. Louisville leading by just 4 points. In the fourth quarter, Notre Dame had 3 turnovers on their 5 fourth quarter possessions. They just fell apart in the final 15 minutes. That doesn't happen again this year. That really doesn't happen very often for many teams, period. Now at home, with this defense, with revenge on their mind, they shut down Louisville's offense, and they get the win. And they're 4-1 heading into their bye week. Nothing to frown about there. They take on Stanford. They'll win that, 5-1. Stanford, they beat 56-23 last year, and the Cardinals still going through a major rebuild under Troy Taylor. Then they get Georgia Tech at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. This is a trap game. This is a major trap game. The Yellow Jackets have a very, very good offense, a dangerous offense, arguably maybe the best offense Notre Dame will see to this point. You can make an argument A&M has one, make the argument Louisville has one, but the Yellow Jackets have some dangerous players, dangerous dual-threat quarterback in Haynes King, a lot of speed at the skill positions, but I still think Notre Dame's defense gets the job done. I think they're able to contain Haynes King, force him into a handful of mistakes, and Georgia Tech's defense I just don't think is there yet. They improve, but not to the point of slowing down this Notre Dame offense that to me is going to get better with each week. They survive a trap game against Georgia Tech in Atlanta. They improve to 6-1. They will beat Navy to get to 7-1 prior to their second bye week, playing Navy at MetLife Stadium. They beat that midshipman 42-3 in Ireland last year and have won 11 of the last 12. Then they come out that bye week to take on big game number 2, Florida State. Well, look at that. They get Florida State in South Bend. Look at that. Some of the big games they've got. Louisville's in South Bend. Florida State's in South Bend. Those are 2 massive games that could alter the season. USC and A&M on the road, sure, but that's a big game getting the reigning ACC champions coming to your house. Reigning ACC champions that aren't going to look the same as last year. They lose a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. DJ Uiagalelei, I think, is going to do fine, and Florida State's defense is very, very strong, and I think they'll give this Notre Dame offense some struggles early on. But the fact that Notre Dame gets to come off a bye week entering this game, they've got home field advantage in this game, and the fact that I don't think Florida State's offense is going to be nearly as strong as it was last year, to me, this is a recipe for a Notre Dame victory. They will beat Florida State at home, where Notre Dame owns the offensive edge. The defense can contain Florida State's offense, and they've got home field advantage. You could argue that Notre Dame owns the edge in every aspect of this game. They will beat the Seminoles. They will cruise past Virginia, one of the worst teams in the ACC this year, although the record will not show how good this team is. They're going to be a lot better than that final record shows, but still Notre Dame not going to slip up to the Cavaliers at home. They're going to cruise past Army and the Bronx. They've won 15 straight over Army dating back to 1965, so they don't play nearly as much as Navy, obviously. And then the season finale at USC. Notre Dame won last year 48-20 over the 10th-ranked Trojans. They just dominated Caleb Williams in that game, forced him into 5 turnovers, had 6 sacks on the day. The visiting team in this rivalry series is just 1-9 in the last 10, but I say you make it 2-9 in the last 11. Look, Miller Moss is a solid quarterback. I think will do well in Lincoln Riley's offense. USC returns 9 starters on defense with a new defensive coordinator in DeAnton Lynn, so that helps the Trojans a lot. But this is their first year in the Big Ten. They're going to have some ups and downs a lot throughout the year. Notre Dame sitting here at 10-1, winning at USC pretty much clinches them a spot in the college football playoff. Their backs are against the wall, and they will deliver. I still don't think USC's defense is going to be to the point where they can slow down this offense. And Notre Dame's defense, we saw what they were able to do last year against arguably a better USC offense than they're going to have this year. And I know it was in South Bend, but we saw what they were able to do, and now this defense has the potential to be even better than last year's defense. So the Fighting Irish do come through. They beat the Trojans in the season finale, and they finish 11-1. And yes, they will make the college football playoff with that record. The seeding, we don't know. Will the Fighting Irish get to host a game in the opening round, or will they have to travel on the road? We're not quite sure yet. We'll have our official playoff prediction at the end of all of our predictions this year. So in August, we'll have our full 12-team playoff prediction. But this is the year Notre Dame has to break through and make the playoff, and I believe this is the year they will do just that. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below. That includes our newsletters over on thegridironexpert.com, our expert picks over on thegridironexpert.com. Do not miss out on any of those offers, guys. All that exclusive content over there so you can become a member of our GE Nation. And once again, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.
Yeah.